Hey there, awesome artists! So with everything that's going on right now, it might be nice to create a little letter or send someone a nice little note to tell them how much you love them or miss them. And so in this video, we're going to learn how to create our own envelopes, which we can write a little note, put in the envelope, and give to someone or send to someone. So let's go ahead and get started. So these are the materials we will need today. Of course, a piece of paper. You can use any kind of paper. I'll be doing 3 different kinds of envelopes today. A pencil, scissors, glue stick or double-sided tape, a ruler, and of course a little note to send inside the envelope. And if you want to color in your note as well, something to color with, and stamps if you want to mail your envelope. All right, so first thing, before we get started, this is really important. The size of the note that I'm using is this. It's 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. So just make sure it's the same size here, because that's what I'm going to be using to create my envelope, so it fits perfectly inside. All right, first thing we're going to learn how to make is this kind of envelope. So we're going to take our piece of paper and we're going to turn our paper into a square piece of paper. So I'm taking my paper, holding it vertical, and I'm taking that right corner and I am folding it over to the left side. So the edge of the paper, both of those edges line up. So once those are lined up and good to go, then I'm going to go ahead and fold it diagonally across. So once I have that, then I'll take my pencil and trace that side of the triangle. And then once I have that, I'm going to go ahead and open it up, and then I will cut that line across so I can have my square piece of paper. If you've seen the other videos that I've made, we've done this quite a few times, especially when we are making origami. We usually use like a square piece of paper. All right, so now that we have that, now what we're going to do is take our paper and hold it like a diamond. And that fold that we have in the middle is going up and down. So make sure your paper is going like a diamond. And once we have that, we're going to take our little note card that we made and line it up in the middle of the paper. It's about 1 inch here of distance between where the card is and the edge of the paper. So, so you could measure that out if you want a little bit exact measurements, but you don't have to. Just eyeball it about the middle of your paper or so is a good size. So once we have that, now we're going to take the 2 sides, the right and the left, and we're going to fold them in. So those corners fold in, and I am folding it in so it meets where the card is, okay, where the side of the card is. So I'm just folding it until I can feel where the card is. Now you can leave a little bit of room too, so it doesn't have to touch the card. If you want to leave a little bit of space, like you'll see here in a minute, I left a little space right there, so the card has a little bit of room to go in. That's fine too. All right, so once we have that, now we're going to take the bottom and fold it up. Same thing, folding it to about where the card is, the edge. And then once we have that, we will fold the top down, just like this. All right, so once we have that, we're going to go ahead and open those back up. And then what we'll need to do is you'll see these little pieces right here. Boom, boom, boom. Those little pieces, we're going to trace those folded lines. So folded line there, folded line there. We're going to trace those on each corner. They make like a little triangle. Once we have that, then we're going to go ahead and cut out those little pieces, those little triangles at the corners here, okay? You don't have to trace them. I traced them so you could see what I was doing, but if it helps, you could trace them as well. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out all those little pieces. So nicely done. Now that we cut everything out, my card should fit perfectly in there. Now we're going to take our glue stick or double-sided tape and we're going to start gluing it all together. So what I'm first going to do is apply some glue at that little corner on the side, and I'm going to fold over the other side and just give it a little tiny massage right there so they stick together and they're not going to go anywhere. Once I have that, I'm going to add some glue to each side going down, okay? So a little bit of glue here and there. Once I have that, then I'll fold the bottom up just like this and give it a really good massage. This is probably one of the most important parts. A lot of times we skip over the little massage part, but our paper needs time to grab onto the glue. So this is really important so our envelopes don't fall apart. So give it a little massage. Once you've done that, I'm just going to cut off that little piece sticking out because I don't need it. So you can do that as well. Just cut that off. And I'm going to add a little bit of more glue because it needs a little more glue. So once you do all that, that is pretty much it. Voila, you did it. You did a really super cool made your own envelope. Y'all are so fancy. Love it. So that is it. It should fit inside, so give it a double check, make sure it works, or if you need to trim down your card a little bit so it fits, you can do that too. You can cut the edges however you want as well, but that is it. All right, so now we're going on to the second envelope option. So I'll show you how to make this kind of envelope next. All right, so now we are holding our paper vertical. We're gonna use the whole rectangle piece of paper for this. And I'm taking my note card, the bottom edge of my note card meets the edge of the piece of paper, and I'm lining it up in the middle. So it should be about 1.5 inches, give or take, depending on the size of your paper on each side. Now I'm folding the top of the piece of paper all the way down to where the top of the note card meets the paper. So I'm going to fold it all the way over that. So see how the fold meets the top of my card. Now I'm going to take my card, the bottom of my card is going to meet the edge of that fold, and now I'm going to fold the top down here. So that way when I open it up, you should see another fold going across like that. Okay? Now we're going to fold in the sides. Again, we are folding in the sides all the way into where the card is. So I'm matching the top and the bottom of my paper, making sure they line up and the paper is not going off or being wonky or something like that. So I'm trying to line the top of my papers so those edges match. All right, so once I have folded both sides in, you should see those little top pieces right here. Then make a little rectangles. So I'm going to just trace those folded lines right there and there. And I'm going to cut just the top pieces right here. So I'm going to cut that and cut the other side as well because we won't need those. Alright, so once we've cut those out, now what I'm going to do is fold in the sides again to give it a nice crease. And I'm going to fold up the bottom to create that crease in the middle right there. So I'm just going to fold those again. Now I'm going to take my glue stick or double-sided tape, whatever you got, and I'm going to add some glue up here on the side right above the fold, the middle fold. I'm going to add some glue here and here on the sides. Once I've got enough glue there, now I'm going to fold up my paper so it meets and give it a good massage. This is very important. Remember that paper needs to grab onto that glue. So we're going to give a really, really good massage. I'm going a little bit fast here, but for you, take your time and give it a little bit of massage. And I'm going to open it up to make sure there's no glue sticking on the inside. And there you go. That's the inside of your envelope. So nice work. We're just going to fold down the top there. And voila, you did it again. You made another fancy little envelope. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure it fits inside. Just double check that it can fit nicely in there. And that is it. So nice work. We are going to learn how to make one last envelope next, and that is it. Alright, so we're going to learn how to make this kind of envelope, kind of like a file envelope here. Pretty fancy, I know. So what we're going to do for this one, our third and final one, we're going to take our paper, and instead of vertical, we're going to have it going horizontal here. So I have my little note card in the middle. It's about, again, 1.5 inches or so, give or take the size of your paper across, and it should be about in the middle. So no need to have a ruler again. You can eyeball this. So now what I'm going to do is take the sides and I'm going to fold it in just like this, and the other side as well, folding it in so it meets the edge of the card in the middle. So you see that there's a little bit of a space in my fold. That's fine. It gives a little room for your card to move so it's not stuck in there. So you can leave a little bit of space. It doesn't have to meet the very edge of your card. That's okay. So once I have that, I'm going to fold in the top and the bottom in. So I'm going to give it a nice fold, meet the edge of my card, both on the top and the bottom. So go ahead and fold those in just like this. All right, we're going to unfold those folds, and you should see, just like in the other envelopes that we've made so far, those little pieces on the corner. We're going to cut those little pieces off. So I'm going to take my pencil first just so you can see those folds I'm talking about. I'm going to trace those at the corner so they make little rectangles. So I'm going to trace those folds. Once I have those, then I'm going to go ahead and take my scissors and cut them out. So now that we've cut those out, now what we're going to do, these smaller folds right here, these smaller rectangles, what we're going to do, those are going to be little flaps. We're going to round them out. So if you want to make them like how you would see like those little file envelopes, we're going to go ahead and round out those edges. So I'm just cutting off the corners here and rounding them out just like that. So I'm taking my scissors, starting from the side and curving them. I'm steering it to make that curve cut right here. So once I have those done, I've got the two curved flaps. Now what I'm going to do is take the bigger flaps and fold them in. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my glue stick or double-sided tape and glue one side. So I'm just going to measure here how much glue I need to add, because it's not going to be the whole side, because it doesn't overlap the whole piece of paper. So I'm just gluing about maybe half of it, and once I have enough glue, I'm going to go ahead and fold it down and give it another good massage. So important. You need to make sure your glue grabs onto your paper grabs onto the glue. So once we've got that, now we're going to take one of those flaps and glue it in. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue and then fold it in once I have enough glue to close off my envelope. Give it a good massage, and that is it, folks. You did it. You made 3 amazing envelopes. So nice work there, and you are ready to send your letter to someone, whoever that might be, and that's it. So nice job. Nice work. Awesome job, artists. You did a fabulous job as always. So you can address your envelopes, you can put a stamp on them, and yes, you can mail these. You can actually mail them. I know, it's so cool. So you just can always check with your local post office if you're unsure about the size or the weight or how far it needs to go for your correct amount of postage to add. You can close it off by gluing in the edges or taping them, and that is it. So nice work. You can use any kind of paper to make these, decorative paper. It all works. So awesome job. And especially in the time that we're in, it's always nice to get a nice little letter from someone to show them that you love them. So that's something you can do, or just for the fun of it, make an envelope because they're just really fun to make, and you can do that too. Or just make an envelope and give it to someone that you love at home. So it's always fun getting mail, whatever it may look like. So nice work, and keep on creating awesome things.